Greetings, everyone, you've tuned into Anime Octopus, where deep narrative meets sharp analysis. Today, we continue our fanfic journey with The White Gaze of Naruko, Part 3, a chapter that dives further into emotional complexity, identity, and the veiled dynamics of power in the shinobi world. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is intended solely for entertainment and discussion. I do not claim ownership of any anime footage featured. All rights belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Let's dive in. Kanahagakure Mission Board, 2 months later. This one appears manageable enough, Hayate commented, his voice slightly hoarse as he selected a scroll from the C-rank mission board. That actually seems straightforward, Naruko remarked in surprise, activating her Byakugan to quickly scan the mission details. Her teammates looked toward her, and Hayate gave a small nod, allowing her to explain further. The mission involves delivering a package from a local merchant here in the village to the head official of Kusagakure. The payment is 2,800 ryo, so 700 for each of us. You're right, Yakumo murmured. It doesn't sound like any combat will be involved. She paused, thoughtful. It's probably classified as C rank only because it requires travel outside the village, isn't it? Hayate gave a firm nod. Exactly. That's one of the criteria that elevate a mission from D rank to C rank. Another is the potential for unexpected events, such as running into bandits or encountering low to mid-level shinobi from another region. So, this might actually be a calm mission? Daihi asked. Hayate didn't give a definite answer. Instead, he carefully examined the mission scroll again. Never assume any mission is without risk, he cautioned. Even the most routine task can become unpredictable. A mission isn't considered complete until we officially report its success to the Hokage. Until then, the situation can change, and we must always be prepared. Remaining cautious is essential. The young squad listened intently, already familiar with Hayate's wise, though occasionally cough-ridden, guidance. They responded in unison, "Yes, Hayate-sensei." "Good. We depart in 2 hours. Be sure to gather everything you'll need and meet at the east gate." With that, Hayate disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Naruko, Daihi, and Yakumo remained in the mission hall. "See you in 2 hours, Daihi said with a small wave before vanishing into a dark, swirling vortex of flame. Naruko turned to Yakumo. "Do you think he's acting a little different lately?" Yakumo thought for a moment, then shrugged. "He's probably just excited about heading out again." "Yeah. Maybe you're right," Naruko agreed as she watched Yakumo's chakra manifest into shadowy wisps that enveloped her form. "See you at the gate," Yakumo said as she vanished into the shadows. Naruko gave a thoughtful nod and focused her chakra, using a personal seal to reverse summon herself directly to her room. Her room was simple, yet well organized. A clean bed with blue covers, a wooden dresser, a small closet, and shelves lined with scrolls made up most of the furnishings. Some of the scrolls were handwritten, others collected from the Hyuga archives or purchased from traveling merchants. The white walls reflected the traditional tone of Hyuga interiors. 3 distinct features made her room stand out. First, ceiling inscriptions adorned the floor, ceiling, and walls. Second, various personal items were strategically placed, easily summonable through her advanced space-time seals. Lastly, her desk functioned as a dedicated Fuinjutsu workstation, cluttered with tags, scrolls, ink, and brushes. Looking around, Naruko tapped her chin thoughtfully. What would be best to take on this mission?" she asked herself. Just then, a knock came from the door. "Come in, Grandpa," she called out knowingly. The door opened to reveal an elderly man, walking with the aid of a cane, something he had begun using 6 weeks earlier. His kind eyes softened at the sight of Naruko. "You're back earlier than expected. No D-rank missions today?" he asked. Naruko shook her head. "Nope. Our sensei assigned us a C-rank mission. Just a courier task to Kusagakure. It shouldn't involve anything too complicated." He nodded and looked around her room with mild interest. "You have 2 hours, right? Have a shadow clone prepare your gear. I have something I'd like to show you before you leave." Naruko tilted her head with curiosity, but nodded. She formed a cross-shaped hand sign and summoned 2 clones, who immediately started organizing her travel kit. She then followed her grandfather out of the room. Their home was quiet as they ascended the stairs to the 2nd floor and walked down the hallway until they reached a bookshelf on the left. Grandpa?" Naruko asked curiously. "Patience, young one," he said with a soft smile, forming a one-handed hand seal. His fingers glowed with an earthy hue as he channeled a controlled pulse of earth chakra. Pressing his fingers to the top shelf, he slowly moved his hand downward. In a moment, the bookshelf shimmered and phased out of view, sealing itself away. Behind it was a spiraling stone staircase descending into the earth. "What is this?" Naruko asked in awe. "You'll see soon," he replied gently and began leading the way. The walls of the hidden stairwell were lined with illumination seals, radiating soft, continuous light powered by ambient chakra. Naruko followed close behind, her eyes scanning the surroundings with careful intrigue. At the bottom of the stairwell, her eyes widened at the vast underground chamber before her. "Welcome, Naruko, to the ancient Uzumaki underground complex." "Wait. Is this underneath Konoha?" she asked, still amazed. He shook his head. "I'm not sure exactly where it lies. The entrance here was placed by Miko, your ancestor. She gave me the seal formation needed to open the passage. I believe there are other entry points across the region, but those are sealed and inaccessible for now." Naruko's eyes sparkled with awe. The chamber was immense, lit by more illumination seals. It looked like a combination of a training facility and archive. Absorption seals lined the walls for safe ninjutsu training, dummies and wooden targets were set up for physical drills, and a broad assortment of weapons was neatly arranged nearby. Along the far walls, scrolls filled tall bookcases and were protected by layered barrier seals that shimmered faintly to her Byakugan. "It's incredible. And the complexity of these seal arrays is advanced. This must have taken decades to preserve." "Yes," he agreed, placing a hand on her shoulder. "This chamber holds much of the Uzumaki legacy. I've kept it hidden all these years, but I can't do so much longer. You are ready, Naruko. The time has come for you to take this knowledge and carry it forward." Naruko turned toward him, her eyes uncertain. "What do you mean? You'll still be here when I get back, right?" He gave her a gentle smile. "My time is drawing short. I've hidden it well, but I've been unwell for a while now. There's a condition passed through our branch, it's a rare genetic illness. Lady Tsunade once referred to it as a type of neurofibrosis, a disorder that affects the nerves and causes growths along the nervous system. It has affected my breathing and movement. And though my chakra remains stable, my body is fading." Naruko's voice trembled. "Why didn't you tell me before? Maybe I could have helped." "You would have focused all your energy on studying medical techniques and neglected your training," he said gently. "I couldn't allow that. Your potential is greater than that path alone." "Grandpa," she whispered. He offered a small, reassuring smile and pulled a scroll from his robe. "Here. This contains the full instructions on how to navigate the complex and access the sealed knowledge. It's yours now, Naruko. Be strong, for your clan. And for yourself." Naruko accepted the scroll, her grip firm despite the emotions swirling within her. She stood in the heart of her ancestral legacy, aware now of the responsibility she had inherited, and ready to rise to it. "There is one last thing. This scroll. It was a gift from your Ba-chan," the old man said, his voice warm and filled with affection. "She asked me to give it to you when my time in this world was nearly complete. But I don't know if you'll be around when that moment comes. So, I want you to have it now." He smiled gently. "All I want to say is, I love you, Naruko. Once I'm gone, this responsibility, this branch of our legacy, it will be yours. And I know deep in my heart that you'll make me proud." Naruko's eyes began to well up, shimmering brightly in the soft glow of the hidden complex. Unlike their usual soft crimson hue, her irises gleamed with a vivid, glowing red, reflecting the strength of her emotions. She began, her voice thick with emotion. As she looked at Hido, she could feel his presence growing fainter. And even though she didn't fully understand why, something deep inside told her that what he needed most right now was her promise. Her heart spoke louder than her thoughts. "I promise I'll make you proud, Gigi," Naruko said, gently embracing him. She held on with care, mindful not to cause discomfort to the one person who had always stood beside her. Hido gave a faint nod, the corners of his eyes wrinkling in a peaceful smile. "There's something else I need to share with you, Naruko," he whispered softly. "It's something important, something I learned about Konoha and your clan, the Uzumaki. I've carried this knowledge for a while, and with what little time I have, I believe it's time you knew." Naruko looked at him with focused curiosity, her gaze steady. "What is it, Gigi?" Hido's voice lowered slightly, as if the truth he held carried great weight. "It's about what really happened to the Uzumaki clan. The truth behind the incident that changed everything." Away from her home in the compound, Naruko walked with calm composure. Outwardly, she seemed serene, though her luminous crimson eyes glowed more brightly than usual. She had entered a focused mental state, placing her emotions aside. To the outside world, she appeared at peace. But within, her thoughts raced. Her heart was beating rapidly, and her mind overflowed with countless thoughts. Beneath that composed surface, Naruko was in deep turmoil. The truth behind the events in Uzushio-gakure had been carefully hidden by powerful individuals in Konoha. The words of Haido-sensei still echoed in her mind. To learn the truth, you must first understand the deception. The Uzumaki of Uzushio-gakure were highly respected, and quietly feared, by the 5 great nations. Their village, though consisting of only one extended clan, held numerous branches, each developing their own traditions and abilities. Together, they formed a powerful collective, unified by their shared values and dedication to one another. Family meant everything to the Uzumaki. They supported each other freely and wholeheartedly, without the need for repayment. Their strength lay not only in their formidable abilities, but also in their unwavering loyalty and willingness to protect their loved ones at any cost. Uzushio's governance was unique. Rather than having a single leader, each branch was represented by a council member, and together they guided the village's decisions. Each branch also maintained its own council for internal matters. If a leader was lost, their successor would be supported and trained by the whole village. This cooperative approach made Uzushio distinct and harmonious. The central Uzumaki line, Naruko's lineage, was especially renowned. Their members were masters of sealing arts, swordsmanship, and possessed immense chakra reserves. Some even inherited rare elemental combinations, and their heritage could be traced back to the matriarch, Otsutsuki Benihime, who wielded unparalleled control over elemental natures. Her descendants could combine elements with ease, giving them a distinct advantage. As Naruko exited through the Hyuga compound's gate and stepped into the streets of Konoha, her eyes quietly observed everything. The village bustled with life, but beneath it, she saw the unease. She moved gracefully through the crowd, unnoticed, blending in as she studied those around her. She saw the masked Onbu silently watching from the shadows. Their presence, once comforting, now seemed different. Her insight had deepened, what once seemed hidden was now clear. She could sense the subtle tension beneath the surface, the anxiety in people's eyes, the guarded expressions, and the silent worries they carried. Years ago, a coalition of 3 great villages, Kirigakure, Kumagakure, and Iwagakure, launched a massive assault on Uzushio. They overwhelmed the sea defenses with sheer numbers, directing currents and disrupting protective seals. Despite Uzushio's strength, even legendary creatures summoned to defend the shores could only do so much. Haido's revelations changed Naruko's perspective. Her dojutsu, her unique sight, now saw the world in sharper contrast. She understood what had been lost and what had been kept hidden. She also noticed something new, hope. Among the shadows of her memories and observations, she spotted Daihi and Yakumo, smiling and laughing together. Despite the darkness she had uncovered, there were still lights shining. Others like Hinata, Hanabi, Anko, Yuagao, Kurenai, Hana, Hayate, each carried a light within them. They reminded her that the world still held kindness and warmth. Many brave Uzumaki had defended their home while others, particularly children and non-combatants, had been safely evacuated. Some were scattered across the lands, and others had vanished on long-term missions. Her family was still out there. Somewhere. She made a silent vow, to find them, to protect them, and to bring them together again. The truth of the conflict weighed heavily on her heart. Many of Konoha's protections were built on Uzumaki-crafted seals. Though the first Hokage trusted his wife's clan, later leaders had taken precautions, unsure of what might come. Over time, alliances shifted, and choices were made that led to betrayal. Naruko's mind churned at the realization. She steadied her breath and focused. She had to stay centered, not only for herself, but for those who still needed her. Do what you believe is right, Naruko, Haido had said. No matter where your path leads, I believe in you. Just promise me this, find your clan and bring them together again. For me. And for your grandmother. I promise, Naruko whispered softly as she landed near the meeting point, the last of her team to arrive. Escaping the cold logic of her thoughts, she offered her team a warm, if practiced, smile. Sorry I'm late, she said lightly. Haido-sensei had something to give me and held me up. Hayate gave a small wave. Just don't make it a habit. Ready now? Naruko nodded, her violet eyes activating, granting her vision across an impressive range in every direction. It was a skill honed with great dedication and precision. You have the package, sensei? Yakumo asked. With a nod, Hayate revealed a scroll and carefully stored it in his vest. Our journey will take about 3 days each way, with 2 days at the destination. If anything happens along the way, stay close and protect one another. Alone, we're strong. Together, we're stronger. They all nodded in agreement. With practiced ease, the team began moving swiftly through the treetops. Hayate led the formation, Yakumo provided illusions for concealment, Naruko kept the rear secure with enhanced perception, and Daihi remained on alert for long-range threats. They moved in coordinated silence. Naruko took the chance to focus her chakra, channeling it to her ears as Hana-sensei had taught her. This technique, adapted from the studies of Orochimaru, allowed her to enhance her hearing significantly, like a finely tuned instrument. She listened to the gentle flutter of insects, the breeze rustling through the trees, and the subtle harmony of nature. Though summer was ending early this year, it brought a peaceful chill to the air, something that felt symbolic in a way she couldn't quite name. After several hours of travel, Hayate signaled for a rest. The team landed in a clearing, quickly forming a defensive perimeter with kunai. Naruko set up a sound barrier for added safety. We're about a kilometer from the village where we'll spend the night, Gi no Sato. I know the innkeeper, and they'll offer us food and shelter at no cost. When we arrive, hide your forehead protectors and blend in as civilians. Naruko, keep your eyes activated the whole time. Why the precautions, sensei? Daihi asked curiously. Mission briefing, Team Hayate. We are shinobi, Daihi. Our most effective tools are strategy and adaptability. If someone is actively searching for Konohagakure shinobi and only focuses on spotting leaf headbands, they may completely overlook us. The three of you have trained extensively in techniques beyond weapon-based combat. I am confident that, even without your headbands or standard equipment, you're more than capable of handling less experienced opponents. Your combined talents place you well within the Chonin level, and easily beyond the capabilities of civilians. If you work together, you're more than capable of facing even B or possibly A-ranked adversaries. I truly believe that. Thank you, Sensei, the three responded in unison. Yakumo then tilted her head with curiosity and asked something that made Hayate chuckle. If we're at such a level, does that mean you nominated you three for the Chonin exams? Hayate finished her sentence with a small smile. I was planning to tell you once this mission concluded and we were back in Konoha, but yes, I've submitted your names. The Hokage was surprised, so was I, when we discovered that every rookie squad would be participating. This mission will be our last before the exams begin. From here on, we'll focus entirely on preparation. Hayate-sensei? Naruko asked, stepping forward. Will the other teams be training in a similar way? The sword-bearing Jounin paused, considering the question before nodding. That would be wise. Training among the squads could certainly help improve everyone's skills. Hayate gave a small sigh. I appreciate the thought, Naruko, and I do agree. But not all instructors are open to such collaboration. Still, let's stay focused. Seal your weapons and headbands, we'll travel to Gi no Sato at a civilian pace. To any observer, we'll look like a small group of travelers. What if the ones looking for us have a sensor type among them? Daihi asked. Yakumo playfully tapped him on the head. That's what all our chakra suppression practice has been for, she reminded him. That's easy for you to say, Daihi muttered. You and Ruto have perfect chakra control. What about me? Naruko smirked playfully, and her glowing hand shimmered with pale blue chakra, an unmistakable sign of her precise control. Daihi gulped. You could have trained more, their sensei commented, causing Naruko to giggle. 3 days later, arrival in Kusagakure. I never realized how much I missed this, Daihi said, adjusting his forehead protector and the sword across his back. Over the past 3 days, the trio had traveled across treetops and woodland paths, switching to roads when passing through two towns, Shindo, located near the edge of the Land of Fire, and Hanamai, one of the larger cities in the Land of Grass. As they entered the gates of Kusagakure, Hayate reminded them of their role. While we're here, remember, we represent Konohagakure. Conduct yourselves accordingly. Enjoy it while you can, Daihi, Naruko said with a grin. You know how cautious Sensei is. I bet we'll travel back the same way. Yeah, Sensei, Yakumo added. What was the point of all that, really? Training, Hayate answered. There are times when strength alone won't solve the problem. In some missions, stealth, clever thinking, and diversion are more important. A sharp mind can overcome brute strength when used wisely. The trio quietly reflected on his words. Why don't you three explore for a while? Hayate suggested. I'll deliver this package to the client. We'll meet at the hotel, it's called the hiding snake. Sounds good, sensei. I bet there's somewhere to grab a nice meal, Daihi said. Come on, Yakumo, Ruto. Naruko smiled. I'll catch up. I need to buy a few sealing supplies while we're here. The two nodded. We'll see you at the hotel, Yakumo said warmly. Naruko gave a quick smile before vanishing in a burst of chakra, using the 5 elements Shunshine. As the other two walked, Yakumo sighed. She's been acting a little different lately. I noticed too, Daihi replied. We can't push her to talk, though. She'll open up when she's ready. Still, I can tell when she's putting on a brave face. Yakumo folded her arms. It's strange. She's performing just as well as ever. If anything, she's even more focused. But she hides her feelings behind that cheerful mask. Daihi gave a quiet chuckle. She's learned the art of deception better than most. If we didn't know her so well, she'd have us completely fooled. He paused. How about here? He asked, gesturing to a modest-looking restaurant named Ryugan's. Peeking inside, Yakumo noticed the simple decor and inviting scent of grilled food. Are you sure? Why not? Could be something new to try, Daihi said, and they stepped inside. They sat across from each other, reading over a menu filled with unfamiliar names. A cheerful waitress approached with a friendly smile. Welcome to Ryugan's. I'm Hanako, and I'll be your server. Hanako-san, what kind of food is this? Yakumo asked politely. The young woman's smile widened. My father, Ryugan, spent time in the Western lands. The food here is based on their cooking styles, grilling, deep frying, that sort of thing. It's delicious. But if you eat too much, keeping your figure might be a challenge, she added playfully, giving Yakumo a knowing wink. Yakumo blushed as Hanako glanced at Daihi, who blinked in confusion. Are you okay, Yakumo? He asked, puzzled. Hanako just giggled and moved on. Village leader's office, Kusagakur. Welcome to Kusagakur, Hayate-san, said the village leader warmly. She was a dignified woman with dark skin, long white braids, and a composed presence. Though youthful in appearance, her aura carried authority. She wore a green flak jacket and a hat woven from grass, with her village forehead protector tied neatly around her neck. The honor is mine, Hanabira-san, Hayate replied with a respectful bow. I've brought the item you requested from Kanahagakur. He produced a scroll from his vest and handed it over. Thank you. I hope your journey was smooth? She asked as she unsealed the scroll, revealing a beautifully crafted katana. No complications, Hayate answered. Hanabira inspected the blade. Yes. This is perfect. She'll be thrilled. Hayate stood quietly, respectful yet alert. One of your students is an Uzumaki, yes? Hanabira inquired, her voice casual but observant. Hayate tensed slightly. Yes, he confirmed. There are Uzumaki living here as well, a woman and her daughters. They are among our most talented young shinobi. The sword is a gift for the eldest daughter, who is training my sister, Ryuzetsu, in sword techniques. Hayate studied her expression carefully. Why share this with me? Not everything has a secret motive, she said with a gentle smile. Perhaps the Hokage would like to know. Or maybe I trust you to keep this to yourself. Or perhaps, we're merely exchanging conversation. Sometimes, it's not about maneuvering, it's just speaking plainly. Hayate was uncertain how to respond, so he simply kept his expression calm. If there's nothing more, may I take my leave? Of course, she said with a light chuckle. You're free to go. I hope your accommodations are comfortable. And I wish your team the very best in the upcoming exams. My Jinan squad will also be participating, Hayate-kun. Her use of the honorific sent a subtle chill down his spine. Without another word, he left the tower using a swift shunshine. He needed to find his students, quickly. Kusagakur, ninja supply store. Naruko stepped into the shop with hopeful determination, scanning for sealing materials. The last 3 stores had already been cleared out, but perhaps this one would be different. To her relief, she spotted a shelf fully stocked with ink and scrolls, prompting a small smile. Approaching the front counter, she noticed an elderly man with gentle brown eyes and matching hair, engrossed in a book, thankfully not the questionable one Kurenai-sensei disapproved of. Excuse me, sir? Naruko asked politely. The man looked up, blinking in surprise. From Konoha, are you? We don't often get visitors from your village, young lady. He straightened with a kind expression. What can I do for you? I'm looking to purchase some sealing supplies. Just enough to last me until I return home. Naruko explained courteously. The shopkeeper gave a regretful sigh. I'm sorry to disappoint, miss, but those supplies along the wall have been set aside for a local clan. I suspect other shops will tell you the same. Unless you can make special arrangements, I'm afraid you won't be able to purchase any today. Naruko sighed inwardly. Negotiating with a clan wasn't something she'd planned, or wanted, to do while visiting a foreign village. If they were anything like the Hyuga in complexity and formality, it might prove impossible without considerable effort. Just as she was about to respond, the shop's entrance bell chimed. Naruko glanced over her shoulder and saw a girl around her age step inside. She had radiant red hair, striking crimson eyes behind stylish glasses, and wore a well-fitted purple coat that flared at the hem, paired with matching shorts. Her tanned complexion matched Naruko's, and her expression carried a confident smile as their eyes met. Ah, Karen. Picking up your mother's order? The shopkeeper asked with familiarity. Sure, Hijin. I can wait until you're done helping this customer. Karen replied with a casual nod, her gaze still resting on Naruko. Hijin chuckled softly. You're just in time. She was hoping to buy some sealing supplies, but it seems your mother has cleared out every shop again. Karen tilted her head thoughtfully, still observing Naruko with interest. Maybe a solution can be found. She stepped closer, her tone friendly. Perhaps a little exchange? Naruko remained composed and responded graciously. I would truly appreciate any help, Karen-san. My name is Uzumaki Naruko. Karen's eyes widened in astonishment, and Hijin gave a curious glance between them. Karen looked Naruko up and down once more before regaining her calm smile. Give her half the stock, Hijin. No charge. Naruko blinked, puzzled. Pardon? All you have to do, Karen said with a cheerful tone, is show me proof. If you're truly an Uzumaki, then I'm happy to share. Naruko considered the request carefully. The most accurate way would be through my sealing techniques. But only another Uzumaki would recognize the intricacies. Karen tapped her chin thoughtfully. I have a better idea. Stop suppressing your chakra so I can sense it. An Uzumaki always has a remarkable presence, no one could hide that, not even a young ninja. Let me feel it clearly. You're a sensor type? Naruko asked. The most skilled in Kusagakur, Karen said proudly. Now go ahead. Naruko nodded, closing her eyes for a moment as she allowed her chakra to flow freely, lifting the restraint she normally kept on it. Almost immediately, Karen's eyes widened in surprise. Incredible. Even more refined than my mother's or sister's. But, can she truly be an Uzumaki? Her golden hair is unusual, but those red eyes. Definitely a trait of our lineage. Her chakra signature. Astonishing. I must tell mother, but not yet. Not until the time is right. You really are an Uzumaki, Naruko-san, Karen said at last, visibly impressed. How long will you be in Kusa? Only until tomorrow, Naruko replied, curious. Why did it matter so much to you? Karen offered a playful smile. Oh, I'll explain someday. Are you a Jinan? Naruko nodded, though puzzled by the question. Well then, in 6 weeks, I'll be visiting your village for the exams. I'll explain everything then. Karen gently placed her hand on Naruko's cheek in a friendly gesture. Look for me, okay, Naruko-san? Naruko blushed slightly, unsure how to respond but gave a small nod as Karen turned to leave with a cheerful wave. I'll be waiting. Don't forget, all right? At the door, Karen glanced back at Hijin. Give her the entire set. Consider it a gift from me. See you at the exams. Hijin waved a hand in front of Naruko's thoughtful expression, amused. That Karen. Always full of surprises. He began preparing the supplies for Naruko, still shaking his head with a faint smile. 2 Uzumaki in his shop at the same time, completely by chance? No, he thought. In his experience, coincidences rarely existed. Sometimes, destiny simply chose the moment. Dear YouTube family. That concludes today's episode, transmission complete. For now. If this content resonated with your inner weeb, activate the like button, deploy a share, and engage the subscribe sequence to stay tethered to the Anime Octopus network. More anime. More depth. More tentacles of content, incoming. Until next time, stay powered up and stay legendary. Thank you. Regards. Anime Octopus.